Hello everyone, VegasVic1965. In this week's video, oh, there he goes. Where's my partner at? It's Noah, my son Noah. Say hi, Noah.
Hi.
In this week's video, we are going to be looking at the slimes, finding a slime chunk, actually farming a slime chunk, and a few things you can do with a slime ball, that is. So, without further ado, Noah,
Let's find out.
welcome back everyone, VegasVic1965 along with Noah. Noah's going to be running a couple of our tests today to show us how things work. And I thought we'd first start out right here at a slime biome. And a swamp biome. Not a hills swamp biome, but a regular swamp biome that you can see out here. And it's starting to get dark. Now, I've heard some people say that the slimes only spawn on a full moon, and that is false. Slimes spawn more frequently on a full moon, but there's only one time where slimes will not spawn, and that's on a new moon. That's basically a new moon is where you can almost not see the moon. But any other time, the slimes do have a chance to spawn, and they are going to spawn, and let me show you here. I got a couple of notes so I don't forget. They spawn between Y50 and Y70. That's usually the ground level based on the terrain. And like I said, most often on full moon. New moon, they don't at all. And that's when the moon, like I said, is barely visible. They still apply, the hostile mob cap still applies. So all these areas out here, you could actually light them up. And if you wanted, the best light to probably use if you're going to set out would be a jack-o'-lantern. Now, if you set the jack-o'-lantern down on the ground, that is a block that mobs can spawn on. And I'm going to show you here in just a little bit when we go take a look at the slime farm that we have, that we dug down to level 6. So I actually set these up, but it actually worked out really well. I didn't have to do anything. I would say, oh, and lo and behold, there they are. Now, if you notice, we've only got a half moon. It's not a full moon. And there's living proof that right there's a couple of slimes down there in this swamp. So anyway, let's move on to the slime farm. Noah, are you there already, or are you still back there? He's going after the slimes, I think. He should be here in just a second. Now, here at this slime farm that we created, yes, I dug it out, and I did not dig all this out by hand. There's a fill command. I know I had somebody in the comments that asked me about doing a video on command blocks, and I probably will. I've got some things on the books right now, but that is one thing that I think I should probably set up and do, and that's some basic command block stuff. But this was done by a fill command. You can only do so many blocks at a time, but I've got it hollowed out from Y40 all the way down to Y6. So now, the most important thing when you're digging out an area is the level that they spawn on when you're digging down in the ground and you're looking for them is Y39 and below. I've always dug mine all the way down. And if you dig out an entire chunk that you know is a slime farm, you're great. But the important thing is that the slimes that are going to spawn are still affected by the mob cap. So light up those caves, as you can see I have here, and remember that they are part of the mob cap. So the more stuff you have lit up out there, the more chances you are going to have the slime spawn. Now, I've marked out a couple slime chunks that I have found, and I actually cheated, and I'll put a little link up on the top, and it's been done in the past. It's nothing new. It's called Chunk Base. Now, that website will actually allow you to find a host of different places in your world, unless of course you're in bedrock. Now bedrock, I might as well mention it right here and right now. Bedrock versions, and this is according to the wiki, they don't have seeds. Now slime chunks are always going to be in the same for all their worlds. So if you found a slime chunk in your world on bedrock, Minecraft Pocket Edition, I believe Legacy and PS4 are probably around the same. So if you find a slime chunk and you happen to go to a different world or a different realm, the slime chunks, if you wrote those down, you should be able to dig down and be able to use that same slime chunk. So the important stuff that I want to mention right away is, Noah, what is that middle sign right there? When do mobs disappear?
Mobs will not spawn within 24 blocks of a player.
Okay, we'll start over there. That's cool. You're right. Mobs will not spawn. Hostile mobs will not spawn within 24 blocks of a player. You can use that in a lot of different things. Now, mobs instantly despawn 128 blocks away. So if you get 128 blocks away from your farm, or wherever you're at, those mobs, if there's no other players around, those mobs will disappear. So if you're working around something like the first sign that he read, within 24 blocks, and you're working and it's dark, if there's nothing around you in that area, you're fine. Nothing's going to spawn there to bother you. Now, another important thing is, if you are more than 32 blocks away, like for example, I believe we're around 26, 27 blocks, but that chunk over there, because it's almost it is a double chunk, but they're set diagonally. I'm sure that somewhere over in that far corner, over in that direction there, that if a slime hung around that area long enough, then I'm probably going to be within that 33, 34 block range, and he will eventually despawn. That's basically what that applies to there. So again, hostile mobs don't spawn within 24 blocks of a player, and they will instantly despawn 120 blocks away. And if you're hanging around waiting for them, make sure that your AFK platform is, for something like this, is not more than 32. Otherwise, when you get back, some of them may have disappeared. So we're going to drop down here, and I think Noah has some slimes. Instead of us just waiting, we're going to drop down here, and Noah has some slime he'll set up for us. And I wanted to show you a basic difference in what you can get with the slimes depending on the weapon you're going to use. Now, if you're using a regular diamond sword without looting on it, you'll get your normal drops, but you will get, for each one level of looting you have on the sword, you'll get an additional for up to 5 slime balls. But he's going to go ahead and load us up there. Go ahead, Noah. You load us some slimes in there. I'll be right back. I want to show them what we can do with some of these slimes. Well, as you saw below, something that Noah jumped on, that he called it a trampoline, and yeah, it's pretty much like a trampoline. You want to make sure that you're not hitting shift when you're on your way down. After you've bounced a couple times, it's fine, but if you hit shift on the way down to land, you will take damage, so be careful. They are fun though. Now, I wanted to show you something here that you may or may not have known, but if you take a blaze powder and a slime ball, you will get a magma cream. And what do we use magma creams for? Do you know, Noah? What do we use magma creams for? In potions.
Oh, for lava. For lava. Fire resistance.
That's right, fire resistance. And a lot of times when you're in the nether and you're running around trying to get these magma creams from the magma cubes, they're sometimes hard to find. So if you have a slime farm set up, and you're able to at least get to another fortress, you can get yourself plenty of nether of blaze powder from the blaze rods themselves, and then of course your slime farm. So you'll be loaded with the magma cream to make your potions. Another good thing that you can use slime balls for are, let me pull that out, is making yourself a lead. You need 4 string and 1 slime ball, and you set it up in this pattern here. And there you go. You have yourself a lead. Or 2 leads, actually. Alright, Noah, did you get those slimes set in there yet? Oh, they're actually going after the golem. And that's something I might as well mention right now. Now, what I have set up here is I've got an auto slime farm set up where I would put a platform about 32 blocks above this. And that way, when the slimes do come in, they're going to go after this golem, because they will actively go after a golem if they're with the golem is within 16 blocks of them, as I have right here, up to 16 blocks away. Excuse me. Now, initially I had the cactus set up at the normal height of 3, and then I set the half slabs on top. You don't need lights because they're bottom half slabs. But then the golem is actually hitting them, and that's not something I want, because he may knock them completely out of and off of those hoppers. And the hoppers is our collection system for all the slime balls. And I just saw one drop. Where you're going to get them from is the small ones. The big ones will break off, and they'll break off anywhere from 2 to 4. That one happened to do 3. And then once they run into the cactus, eventually they'll break off, and the same thing will happen. They'll break off into 2 to 4 small ones, and the small ones will then kill themselves on the cactus. Now the large ones can do some damage to you, and the medium ones can also, but the small ones, surprisingly enough, do no damage. So if you want a pet, make sure you name it. You can bring it to your house and let him bounce around. He'll always follow you, I guarantee it. So what I've done is I put a sand block in the middle down here for this auto one, if you're interested in making it. And on top of that sand, I placed 4 cactus. I put a half slab on top, and then I put a cross pattern, as you can see right here. And then I surrounded it with fence. And then what you're going to need is, of course, your to make your iron golem. You would set your iron golem up like this, and this. Whoop. And then finally, you would put that on. I'm not going to get him started here. That's what I did down inside there. And then, of course, he will come to life, and any spawns that any slimes that happen to spawn in here are going to go right after him. Occasionally, they'll bounce away and they'll get distracted, it seems. But then eventually, once they pick up on him, they'll go after him. And as I mentioned earlier, as you notice, I'm using jack-o'-lanterns for my light. Outside, where they're not a slime chunk, I've just used glowstone. You can use whatever light source you want, but I strongly suggest you use something like this block, the jack-o'-lantern block, because mobs can spawn on it. And if you place glowstone in here, that takes away, since it's considered a block you can see through, not an opaque block, then they will not spawn on or around that block, especially for the big ones. It's going to take up a lot of space that they can't spawn on. So use the jack-o'-lanterns in that entire area. From in this chunk, they will be able to spawn. And same over here, as you see. This is just a different pattern in case you haven't got an iron farm up and you don't want to waste that much iron on making that many hoppers. But it's a great AFK farm. It really, really is. And this one's similar. It's just a little smaller. But same principle. Here's the outline of the chunk. I've used jack-o'-lanterns, and when the slimes pick up on him, they will again head in towards here to try to get him, of which, of course, they can't. So Noah, I think I pretty much covered everything in here. I can't think if I missed anything. I guess the only other thing I wanted to mention was why would I have made this down here at level 6? Well, the game spawns your mobs as it's calculating and it's running through the game chunk by chunk. It's going to spawn those mobs from the bottom up. So if you were to build this on, let's say, Y36, and you still had 3 levels, because those large ones can do up to 3 high. If you set your mob farm, your slime farm up there, then there may be caves below, and they may end up spawning down below. So if you're standing around waiting, that's probably the reason. So I always do mine down below.
Come check this. Since you couldn't really,
what you got, buddy?
Since you couldn't really spawn the iron golem.
Oh, he's going to make one for us to show everybody. If you don't know how to make one, Noah is about to show you right here. Go ahead, buddy.
So you put every single piece of iron right in
just like that,
order,
right?
And then put a pumpkin in the middle. You have to put it in the middle, or it won't work.
Let's see. There it is. Noah's made one. He's going to have some friends, I think, because he's not a player. So, and there's a dark area in there. Oh, you going to kill him now?
Do you want me to?
No. Trying to think if I missed anything, though. Tell me, did I miss anything at all?
I don't think so.
I definitely wanted to show something of really importance. Now, I'm going to put a link down below for you bedrock players, and it's a way to find your chunks like this. For the Java version, you hold down the F3 and press the G button, and it will give you your chunks, your chunk borders. That way you can actually set up little boundaries in case you've dug out a huge area and you want to use either fencing, fencing, or you can use walls to kind of show where those lines are at, and that way it'll give you an idea of where those chunks are, where those spawns are going to be. Because finding one is a matter of trial and error and clearing out a large space, unless of course you go to the website that I mentioned earlier and put up on there the link on, and that was Chunk Base. But in order to use chunk base, you're going to have a seed. Now, if you're playing a multiplayer server, chances are you're probably not going to get the seed. If you're playing in single player, yes, absolutely. You can type /seed in your world, and that will give you a very long number. You go to chunk base, punch that number in there, and of course click the corresponding one. You click on apps, put your number in there, click on looking for slimes, and you're all set. So I think we pretty much covered everything, Noah. If anybody has any questions, anything I may have missed, or just leave me a comment down below. Where'd Noah go?
I'm right here.
Well, guys, I think we covered everything. Noah can't think of anything else. So I hope this was very helpful for you if you want to make one. Again, the auto one that you see behind you, remember to be 32 blocks away or 31 blocks. It's somewhere right around there. As long as you're more than 24 blocks away, the slime will spawn once you find your slime chunk. It's not easy if you can't get the seed, but it is very, very possible. So, you guys have a great day, and if you'd like this video, click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe for future videos, I make videos every Wednesday, usually in the evening, and I have them edited and out by early Thursday morning. So, Noah, until next week.
Bye.
We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.